Greetings, this is Russ Anderson. Today I'm going to take a look behind the scenes of stereo tracking and show how to set up for supervised stereo tracking. Now to start with, I've opened up a auto-tracked version of the scene used in the previous tutorial on auto-tracking stereo shots. And you can see it's all set up and a coordinate system set up. So when you do stereo tracking, you wind up with two different sets of trackers. One set of trackers on the left camera, one set of trackers on the right camera. And each of those trackers is linked to its matching tracker. And in this case, all those links are sitting on the left camera trackers and linked to the matching tracker on the right view. The direction of that is determined by the stereo geometry panel. There's the idea of what's the dominant camera, whether it's the left camera is the dominant or the right camera is dominant. Normally the right camera is the default dominant camera. And so it's the right camera that winds up with the coordinate system set up, and the left camera is the secondary camera, and it has all the links from its trackers to the trackers on the dominant camera. So that's the basic kind of setup here with the stereo tracking setup. So now let's take a look at setting up the SynthEyes viewports for a supervised stereo tracking. So I'm going to start out by locking the perspective view to the camera. I've got it locked actually to the left camera. And I'm going to actually take the front view here and I'm going to make it be the camera view. So that right now I've got a camera view and a perspective view. They're both showing the left camera view. But if I go and change the active camera, now it's showing the right camera view. The perspective view is still showing the left camera view. So I've got both views being displayed. Now if I want to work on the other view, I can use on the shot menu, there's Activate Other Eye, and it reverses the two. It changes the current object to current camera to be the other one, and it goes around and looks for the perspective views and it flips them, so the perspective view is always looking at the opposite camera. So in the main camera view, that's where you're doing your tracking work. The perspective view is showing you what the matching things are in the other camera. Now, by default right now, the perspective view is actually showing both the left and the right trackers, and they're both sitting at exactly the same spot, so that can be a little confusing. I just selected the tracker in the main camera view, and it looks like it's selected in the opposite right camera view also, but it's not. Instead, what I need to do is tell this perspective view to show only the trackers that are on the camera to which that perspective view is locked. So now the perspective view is only going to show the trackers that are on the right camera view. And you see that the tracker that matches any selected tracker, it's shown in yellow here. So if I click on a different tracker in the main camera view, you'll see that little, which one is yellow is moving around in the other view. So it makes it easy to tell, what goes to what in between the two different views. And the process works in reverse also. So if I click on a tracker in the perspective view, even though it's not on the active camera, the tracker in the right camera can't be selected right now because only the left camera is active. But instead, it will select the matching tracker that is in the active camera view. So that makes it easy to go back and forth between the two in either direction. So now we can take a look at adding another supervised tracker in. So we'll go to the tracker control panel. And this is just normal supervised tracking. And you may want to go and consult some of the tutorials and manual on that. but of course since it's stereo we get to do it twice. So I'm just going to create a tracker on a particular feature here and let it track through the shot. And it goes off the edge, and I just lock it back up. And now I'm just going to do the activate other eye or hit the minus key to flip the two views, and I'll create the feature, a tracker on that feature in the other view. And again, track it through the shot and lock it up. Now, we've got trackers on both cameras now, so the only remaining thing that we need to do is to link the two together. So here's my tracker that I want to link, and now I'm just going to Alt-click on the same tracker in the perspective view. And it just flashes a little to acknowledge. And now I've created a link. Now, SynthEyes automatically makes that link in the correct direction depending on that dominant camera setting. So, I actually had the right camera selected, but the link was actually made not on this right camera, but it was made on the left camera. So you see the left camera, or the left tracker winds up with the link that goes back to the version on the right camera. So now I've got my new stereo tracker pair set up. If I go and refine the solve now, we'll get a 3D location for that. And you can scrub through and see, here's our new tracker location. And, if we're doing this for real, we may need to go and add a whole bunch of supervised trackers. So you can do, the left and the right, one at a time and then link them immediately. Or maybe you want to make, build 6 lefts and then 6 rights and then do the links all in one pass. So, it's up to you how you want to keep track of that. And then, all you need to do is just make sure you get the right ones matched up. And usually that should be pretty straightforward. So this is what supervised tracking is about for stereo. Take care.